Why would the popularity of gravel racing have kind of picked up? What's the appeal for riders?
I guess there's a mix of appeal. One in particular is the fact that you're off busy roads. You could ride one of these circuits for the Gravel in Paradise and potentially come across one tractor and a combine harvester, and that might be it for your 3 hours in the saddle.
Yeah, tell me about Coast to Coast. You've done it before in a team environment, right?
Yeah, when I was at uni, I think my dad probably decided drinking shouldn't be my main hobby. So he said we should go do it as a team. So he did the kayak and one of the bikes, and I did the run and then the last bike into New Brighton.
G'day everyone, welcome into another edition of the program. Coming up for you today, Grant Campbell's going to join us in a moment. He's going to be talking about this cool series called Gravel in Paradise. It's a cycling series and it's on dirt roads, those wonderful dirt roads that we know and love around rural New Zealand. 4 events coming up over the next few months. We're going to find out all the details with Grant Campbell. And keeping with the sporting theme today, we're going to be talking with Anna Gregan, who is a Canterbury dairy farmer, and she's going to be competing in the Coast to Coast, the Kathmandu Coast to Coast. That starts today, incidentally. So we're going to find out what it takes for a dairy farmer to get training and ready for an event as grueling as the Kathmandu Coast to Coast. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel here on YouTube. Looking forward to this one. We've got this event called Gravel in Paradise that we're going to be talking about on the program today. Now, get this, it is the only gravel cycling series in New Zealand. It starts with a thing called the crop duster, which we're going to find out about in just a moment. And it also includes a special category for farmers with a fantastic prize as well. Grant Campbell is the organiser, and he joins us now. It's lovely to have you on. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, Dom. Yeah, busy time of the year for me, getting ready for the crop duster. And I think I've got about 10 more sleeps to get organised. So she's all go.
Yeah, that's number one on the calendar as far as I can see. So there's 4 events, and they're sort of spread out, aren't they, over the next few months?
Yeah, we run a 4-round series. We started back in 2022 with 1 round. Initially it stemmed off the back of the White Rocks, which had been run for a few years in North Otago, in Enfield. Beautiful spot there. Terry Hannon from Oamaru and the Oamaru Coffee Riders had successfully set up pretty much a gravel ride for a couple of years. COVID got in the way. And then they ran 21 and 22. So sort of on the back of that, I got involved with Terry Hannon, and I said to Terry that the White Rocks is great, be fantastic. We put a series together. So spawned in 2022 was an extra couple of rounds on top of the White Rocks. We went to a 3-event series. Interest was massive, and especially from our Central Otago contingent. Your neck of the woods, lots of riders out of Queenstown and Wanaka and all through Central. So we put in a 4th round. First round being the crop duster. Second round is the Puketapu Gravel and Tar. That's in Palmerston, Otago. And the 3rd round is the Marakanui Express, and that's in Omakau. And then the final round back to the original White Rocks in Enfield, North Otago. So, yeah, 4 rounds. We sort of just tried to spread them out in the calendar to fit in best with other events that we're on and other cycling events, avoid the long weekends if possible. So pretty much about a month between each event. So those that rock up to the crop duster and are not feeling overly fit, they got plenty of time to get ready for the next one.
Yeah, and just having a look through some of the photo galleries and stuff on your website as well, not for the average cyclist, or you tell me, is it or is it not? I mean, you're attracting, by the look of it, some pretty fit and able athletes here.
Look, we've definitely got some athletes, and then you got the likes of myself and co that just turn up and make sure that they finish the event, Dom. So, yeah, no, look, I think we've got a real mixed bag. It's interesting, the gravel scene. Definitely seen larger growth in gravel racing than probably any other cycling discipline, and that's been a factor around the world really. We're probably a bunch of years behind the States and Europe and stuff that gravel racing's been huge. And I mean, given the geographical landscape of New Zealand, we've got plenty of gravel roads out there. So yeah, it's interesting. And some of the other events outside of the Gravel in Paradise are probably a longer endurance style event. You're riding 200 Ks, maybe even up to 300 Ks. So the style of Gravel in Paradise was based more around it being a competition, being a series, shorter circuits, try and keep the fun element in there a little bit too, don't make it overly competitive, and lots of age categories. That was really important. We noticed early on that I think our average age from last year was something like 54 as an average age across hundreds of riders. So it was important we had to focus on keeping the event for those age groups and all abilities really. Youngest rider's a young 12-year-old from North Otago, and I see we've got somebody 82 or 83 entered into the event as well. Quite a few guys over the age of 80. So yes, it's a competition. Yes, it's a race. So yeah, take it how you see it there. It's but certainly a lot of the riders are just love to get involved and get out and have a really good ride on a Saturday or a Sunday afternoon and come back for a prize giving and a bit of camaraderie and have a beer and whatnot. So yeah.
Sounds great. So obviously then the courses are more, you said they were shorter. So we're talking like your 40, 50K type scenarios depending on the event category that you enter.
Yeah, that's correct. So we opened it up with two distances basically. So each event has two distances. On average, a shorter course is somewhere around the 40 to 50K mark. And then the longer course is anywhere from 60 up to 100. The Marakanui Express this year, that's our first 100K race, albeit pretty flat in and around the back of Omakau. It'll make for some fast, exciting racing. So, yeah. Look, a lot of the most entrants enter into the long course. I guess they see that as just being a little bit more of a challenge, but certainly plenty of riders also for the shorter distance. Yeah.
You mentioned something really interesting there a minute or two ago when you said that the gravel scene is picking up. We're actually even behind the likes of US and Europe. Why is that? Not why we're behind, but because we're always but why is that a thing?
Yeah, I guess it's a bit of a numbers game in New Zealand too. I mean, when you start talking the States and the UK, I guess they've got the numbers, haven't they? They're big countries, and they'll have, as an example, a round of the UCI World Gravel Champs this year. I think they had it capped at somewhere around about 2,000 riders. The Unbound, which is probably undisputably the hardest gravel ride in the world, same thing. Literally hundreds and hundreds of riders. Now, the Unbound may sound familiar to a lot of people. Why is that? One of our Gravel in Paradise champions from last year, from the crop duster, actually, Cameron Jones, he rocked up fairly well unknown this time last year to do the crop duster and managed to tear the absolute field apart and come home in podium position. I was catching up with Cameron afterwards, very nice guy, and he says, look, I can't hang around too long at prize giving. I'm on a plane to go and race the Unbound in the States. And to me, it was a little bit of an unknown as well. We'll blow me down. Cameron Jones went and won the Unbound.
Wow.
Making him probably the top gravel cyclist in the world. So he's become a household name around cycling these days. And so definitely helping lift the profile with quite a few great Kiwi athletes getting out on that international circuit. Quite a few athletes from Wanaka are heading off overseas this year as well. So fantastic.
Okay, so that is really interesting, just having a look at that Unbound. So that's great. Where does he hail from, Cameron?
Cameron is actually a Nelson man.
Right.
And his family, his family into farming in that region. I think in particular horticulture farmers. Yeah, so he has a pedigree in the farming scene as well.
Wow. Well, so it's in the Flint Hills of Kansas, this Unbound gravel event. And yeah, I've just pulled that up and looking at that looks like it's a hell of a course as well. But yes, I mean, but why would the popularity of gravel racing have kind of picked up? I mean, what is that about? What's the appeal for riders?
I guess there's a mix of appeal. One in particular is the fact that you're off busy roads. So, everybody in the cycling fraternity realises these days roads have got busier. I'm not going to say driving's got poorer, but perhaps cyclists are not looked out for as much as what they should. So it's an opportunity. Yeah, opportunity to get off those busy roads and get onto a gravel road. You could ride one of these circuits for the Gravel in Paradise and potentially come across one tractor and a combine harvester, and that might be it for your 3 hours in the saddle. So I guess that's attractive. The fact too that you can get out the back gate and some farming, rural, beautiful scenery. As you can hop out your back gate and 10 minutes later you're in paradise. So that's definitely a key part of it. And I think in particular, we're just seeing a lot of those road cyclists and potentially a lot of older, perhaps mountain bike riders who are going, well, I find it pretty tough riding a mountain bike these days, bit of a risk of falling off. Get onto a nice gravel road on a decent gravel bike, and you can ride to your heart's content and get home in one piece. And yeah, so there's probably a mix of those things going on, and I think we also perhaps haven't really picked up on the gravel scene from cycling clubs. From what I can see from other cycling clubs in the country, they're still perhaps keeping to their traditional knitting of road race events. So that's where we saw an opportunity with Cycling Otago and myself and a couple of others to say, well, actually, we've got an opportunity here to bring a really good series and to get people really keen on gravel cycling. And man, have we had some growth, unbelievable. So sky's the limit.
I can see the appeal actually when you explain it like that. Definitely. Is there a specific gravel bike as well? Is there? I know nothing about the cycling world other than I do live on a dirt road, and you're right. They're loving it. They love it.
They're loving it. Oh, look, for the naked eye looking at it, for the untrained eye, if you put a road bike, with your drop down handlebars, if you put a road bike next to a gravel bike, the untrained eye would go, look pretty similar, whereas the gravel bike's probably just got slightly different geometry in the frame, a little bit more upright, a little bit more robust in the frame, slightly wider tyres, just got on some gravel tyres. But yeah, pretty much just looks like a road bike. And these guys are honking on these things. They really are. They're fast. All carbon.
Imagine. Well, also you'd need the fatter tire as well, I imagine, just because of the terrain. Obviously, it's just not as smooth by definition.
Correct. We did have the New Zealand under-23 elite road race champion. His name eludes me for now, but he turned up to the crop duster, and he'd been a busy guy, and I don't think he quite read the brief, and he turned up with his road bike, with his little wee skinny tyres and all his road bike gear on. And I said, "Are you all right there, mate? You know what you're doing?" And he goes, "Oh," he said, "is this a gravel event?" I went, yeah, it is, mate. He goes, she'll be right. And look, blow me down. He finished up in the top three still, but he must have been beat up by the end of it, I bet.
I reckon. Yeah. He may not have read the title, Gravel in Paradise, but hey.
Yeah. He was a bit of a character. He told me he'd been pretty busy. So, look, he is a real champion guy. So, good full credit to him, but I'm sure he'll turn up with a gravel bike next time.
I love it. It's fantastic. What does it take to organise 4 events? Say your work will be cut out.
Yeah, no, there's definitely there's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes, obviously, in these sorts of events. I guess because we're sort of 4 years in now, and I've run them all. but it does help that you've learnt by your mistakes and just keep improving. That's the key to it, is just keep getting it better. But lots of work behind the scenes. I am a volunteer for Cycling Otago. I have a full-time role with Rico New Zealand and Dunedin here, but it's a volunteer role. I sort of lost count of the amount of hours I put in, Dom, but let's say it's a few hundred hours involved.
I can imagine.
Yeah. But no, look, it's great. I get a great buzz out of it, and it's just great to bring these events. And the coolest thing I like is seeing riders come back year on year and turn up to each event, and you get to know them and you get to have that good old chat with them, what they're up to, and they just love it. They just love it. So yeah, and no one tries to take it too seriously, which is good.
Yeah, I'm actually quite fascinated by it, actually, and having zero cycling, experience or whatever. It's just not my thing. Just don't do it. But I am really interested in it. What in terms of the landowners? I presume that some of it's through private land in certain areas. Is it? Are you?
No, they're all open gravel roads.
Oh, great.
So we set up a circuit, ensuring that the circuit is as safe as what we can possibly make it on open gravel roads. We ensure that we try and make as many of the turns on the circuit left-hand turns, so you're not turning right into any traffic. All the circuits all set up professionally with a traffic management plan and a traffic management manager, and all the corners are marshalled as well. So no, all open gravel roads. The odd time we might deviate off and use a little bit of the likes of the rail trail or something like that, but 99% of it are all open roads, gravel roads.
Yeah, great. I imagine as well, though, given the nature of the terrain, you just know it when you're walking along it that you can get a little bit off kilter from time to time with a bit of a stray rock or two out there, Grant. So I imagine there's some pretty decent, what would you say, some couple of hazards along the way for races, is there? Or
yeah, 100%. I mean, and I think that adds to the challenge of it all too, is that it probably takes a lot more experience to ride a gravel bike on gravel than it does on the road, and it also takes a lot more experience to ride a gravel bike really fast on the gravel than riding on the road. So you've definitely got that additional element. Corrugations on the roads, of course, that's probably the biggest challenge for most riders, and we know a lot of those roads get a lot of stock trucks over them, and farmers' tractors, and potentially some of those gravel roads aren't overly well maintained. They get a bit of new gravel on them every 2 or 3 years and get the grader over them. So lots of obstacles. Now we just make sure as well that we've checked it over really well first, and if we see anything that's a real hazard, is that that's marked out to everybody, and they're well aware of potential hazards. But
that'd be part of the appeal. That'll be part of the appeal, wouldn't it, as well?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely. Yeah, definitely. And I mean, that's where the skill level comes in. Some of these guys, like the likes of Cameron George, Jeremy Presbury from Wanaka, he's one to look out for. He'll be racing on the world scene. Jeremy's won our series 2 years in a row now. He's quite the athlete out of Wanaka, and these guys just got incredible bike handling skills. You see them coming down a descent, 50, 55 kilometres an hour, and they're getting shaken to bits, and their skill level's just right up there. It's amazing.
Yeah, it'd be cool to watch, actually. Is there spectator room? I like, I suppose.
Oh, definitely. Yep. Lots of spots to get in and view the circuit. Obviously, we're a little bit cautious that we don't encourage too many vehicles out there. But yeah, look, there's lots of spots on all of the circuit. There's lots of spots for viewing, and we get a good crowd along to support the riders.
And you get the Lycra on yourself, do you? Give it a wee nut.
I get the Lycra, not for the series, Dom. I'm a little bit busy on the day, but I get the Lycra on whenever I can. Yeah, I actually got a good few Ks in on the rail trail on Friday, which was great. Really enjoyed that, and I did a lot of riding up through South Canterbury. So yeah, definitely enjoyed getting out on my gravel bike. For
Wonderful.
Sure.
Yeah, and look, the point that you raised earlier, I think, is a really good one, and I notice it now, obviously being up here, there are a lot of cyclists around, and there is still a, I don't know how I'd term this, is there an animosity between drivers and cyclists? I think they're more forgiving up here because a lot of people, as you say, there's a lot of athletes trying to actually make a crust out of it. Or make some sort of a career out of it. So you kind of notice the multi-sport athletes and people like that up here a bit more, might be a bit more forgiving. But in general terms, I've always thought that cyclists, especially, the one way in Dunedin and stuff like that, geez, you're taking your life into your hands. I can see the appeal of getting on some back roads, to be honest.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Yeah, taking life into your hands. I also run the road cycling events of Cycling Otago, and, when I sort of first took over in 2020, some of our events were still out at State Highway 1, and I was quite horrified, following a couple of times where I saw really close calls, and probably not, not at the fault of driver so much, just the fact that, open road speeds, 100 Ks, there's lots of trucks on our roads, lots of tourists driving on our roads. So, we're really needing to look, beyond riding on those busy roads now to find places that are safe. I think in particular, there's probably a little bit more awareness in drivers that, they do need to be watching out for cyclists, and I think there's a lot more signage around. And I think in particular it's probably okay. But, look, it's just is what it is a little bit. Car versus bike, car's always going to win.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And, of course, and you always talk to people as well, and I don't want to bring it down on it, but it is a thing because people say, cyclists are bloody entitled, and they ride around like they're entitled. You would have heard that ad nauseum, I imagine.
Yeah, definitely. And that's what we try and say to our guys when we're out riding. Look, riding 2 or 3 abreast is not cool. It's not cool. Be conscious of what's behind you all the time, and we got to share the road. They've got to share the road. So there's certainly a bit of that stigma still, and perhaps we do think we own the road a little bit. Hence why we get out into the gravel, Dom, and then we can.
Exactly, which is why I think this is such a bloody great idea. Tell me as well, before we wrap this up, about, I think I mentioned at the top there, you've got a farmer category as well. Is this, it's Ride Strong, isn't it, with in association with Farm Strong. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, look, we got involved early in the piece with Farm Strong, and they were just great supporters of what we were doing, full stop. Came up with the Ride Strong as a category to put into the series, and it's just been so well supported over the last few years. Unbelievable. So farmers from all over the shop, actually had a couple message me today just asking a little bit more about it. So at the moment we're looking like about 25% of the entire fields in the Ride Strong class.
Oh, wow.
From a farming background. And we're not saying you have to be a farmer as such, but you might be from a farming background, you might be involved, live rurally, that sort of thing. So we've just really tried to put a big focus on getting those riders out. And, Farm Strong's message of getting off the farm and, getting out and clearing the head and, just looking after yourself. No better way to do it than a Sunday afternoon ride for a couple of hours and a bit of a beer afterwards. And it's just great. It's fantastic. And you probably don't, unsuspecting guys really, probably don't have all the flash lycra and stuff that is turn up and do their thing. So it's fantastic. Farm Strong have been great supporters, and I think this will be our biggest year with Farm Strong in the Ride Strong class.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great to hear. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with a pair of Canterbury stubbies and a singlet, mate. Some work boots, you'll be fine.
That's right. 100%, man. No problem. Bit of padding in those Canterbury shorts.
You'd want a little bit, wouldn't you, if you're riding 40-odd Ks or whatever it is. Yeah, good stuff. Some good prizes too, as I understand, across the board.
Yeah, look, the series has been really well sponsored. We've been pretty lucky that we've had property brokers from day dot. Really, they've supported us all the way through. But we've picked up lots and lots of other sponsors. We're not asking the world of our sponsors. We're asking a little bit of our sponsors and we give a whole lot back in return. And I think, Cycling Otago being a non-for-profit organisation, we're not in it to make a buck. We're in it to make sure we've got people riding. And that's what I like about it. It's a really clear message to our riders. We're not a commercial organisation here, trying to put money in the bank and prosper in your own pocket. We just want to see people riding. So it's helped having sponsors. It means we've been able to get some decent gear, and we're able to buy the right equipment and have the right timing systems and make sure we've got it well marshaled, right traffic management plans, all that sort of thing. Been very lucky that we've had Darian Rush, who owns Euro Cycling in Auckland. Darian's right into the cycling scene. I think he's got a couple of sons that race, and he actually has a holiday house in Oamaru, of all places. So there you go, Oamaru, there's a plug for you. People have got holiday houses there. And Darian got involved the year before, came across with a brand new bike to win. Same last year, brand new bike to win. And then this year, he's put a $10,000 gravel bike up as a spot prize. So anyone that enters has got a chance of winning that bike. So, that's really cool. And Darian tries to make it to all the events too. So that's a great partnership we've got there. It's fantastic.
Wow, that's great. Well, all the best to all the competitors. February, March, April, May, the 4 events. Go to gravelinparadise.co.nz. It's been a lot of fun. Grant, all the best with everything, mate. But thanks for joining us on the show. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks very much. You also jump on our Facebook page, which is just Gravel in Paradise as well. That's got a fair bit of info on there as well, Dom. So thank you.
Okay, you'll probably all know that the Coast to Coast is coming up, or if you don't, it's coming up this Friday, actually. And Anna Gregan is going to be at the start line, among many others. She's currently 2IC on a dairy farm just out of Lincoln, and she is competing in the Coast to Coast individual for the first time. It's great to have you on. How are you?
Good, thank you.
How's the prep going?
At the moment, it's more just getting the farm ready to be fair, getting everything set up for the weekend. So, yeah, it'll be good, once I'm finished all that and can kind of focus on Coast to Coast.
Yeah, I can imagine. So tell me, where do you work?
Just by Lake Ellesmere.
Okay.
About 10 minutes out of Lincoln.
And you're a 2IC there on the dairy farm?
Yeah, it's a bit of bad timing. The manager's actually away on holiday, so yeah, it's a bit skeleton charts staff.
Yeah, well, hey, at least he gave you the go-ahead. He gave you the nod to be able to give this a crack, though, which is great.
Yeah, no, to be fair, work's been awesome. It was time off and everything for training and that.
That's cool. How do you find working on the dairy farm?
It's good. Yeah, I really enjoy it. I'm from a dairy farm in Waimate, so I've really enjoyed it. I've came back from overseas after studying at Lincoln, so it's good to be part of the day-to-day agriculture, I guess.
Yeah, totally. Where'd you go overseas?
I worked on a dairy farm in Ireland and played a season of rugby in Canada.
Oh, very good. So you're sort of a bit of a sport billy, so to speak. You've got a few interests in the sporting realm.
Yeah, I guess you could probably say that, to be fair.
That's cool. So what, rugby, obviously, endurance stuff, anything else?
I did a triathlon last year for the first time, which was pretty cool.
Wow.
Played lots of social volleyball and touch and all that. Lots of good clubs around Lincoln, so it's a great way to meet people, especially coming back from overseas.
Yeah, that's really cool. So, tell me about Coast to Coast. You've done it before in a team environment, right?
Yeah, when I was at uni, I think my dad probably decided drinking shouldn't be my main hobby, so he said we should go do it as a team. So he did the kayak and one of the bikes, and I did the run and then the last bike into New Brighton.
Brilliant. So you did it with Dad. That's awesome. Has he got a bit of a history of this stuff, does he?
Yeah, he did the Coast to Coast years ago. Had a bit of a disaster, cracked his kayak in half, so he was ready to give it another shot, I think.
That's great. Was it good fun doing that? I think it was 5 years ago you did it with John, right?
Yeah, no, it was awesome. It's such a cool event. Everyone out there is just so positive and wanting to give it a go and give it a crack. You can't beat the Coast to Coast, really.
That's awesome. So you've decided then that you're going to do the individual. So you're doing the 1 day or the 2 day course?
Doing the 2 day course.
So that will obviously require you're going to have to get in the kayak, aren't you?
Yes, I've had to learn how to kayak, which has been a big learning curve. I'm pretty lucky. There's just a wee creek between where I work and where I live, and I've been started out on that. Got attacked by a few swans. But yeah, I've definitely done a lot of swimming in my kayak. I've actually failed my grade 2, which you need to do coast to coast, so had to re-go at that. So hopefully I don't have as many swims on the big day.
That's brilliant. Good stuff. Oh, you've got your accreditation, so that's good. So talk to me about your training and the commitments with your job on the farm as well. When have you managed to fit the training in?
To be fair, it's quite hard. I don't know how people with like kids and other family commitments do it. Especially like early mornings when lots of people train, there's cows to be milked. But my work's been awesome, like giving me time off to go kayaking, and like friends and family like helping out to like be able to get me training. Like if I have a flat tire, people will take my tire into town and stuff. But yeah, it's just about doing something rather than like trying to do like 10Ks every night or like go run a half marathon on the weekend. Just like something is better than nothing, I guess, when you're dairy farming.
Yeah, that's a good point. Plus, you'll also obviously be naturally fit, I suppose, as well.
Well, I'm kind of hoping.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have like any expectations about what you want to do with this race or just get to the finish? I mean, what have you got any goals or anything?
To be fair, my training isn't where I'd like it to be, so I'm just going to be happy to complete it. You know, just get out there and enjoy it, I guess, is the main thing. Can't change too much now, a couple of days out. So, yeah, just enjoy the atmosphere and be a part of it.
Yeah, why not? That's kind of what it's about for a lot of people as well, which is great. What's your best discipline of the three?
To be fair, I love getting out in the hills and going for a run, so I'm looking forward to the run the most.
Not everyone would say that, actually, so that's good. You'd be no stranger to traipsing up and down hills, I suppose.
Yes, no. And it's so good. Like, all you need to do to go for a run, you can be covered in shit, but you just need to put your running shoes on and you're away. You don't need a bike or a kayak or anything. So, yeah, it's great.
Yeah, exactly. The simplicity of it. I like that. Have you got a sort of a team of people around you, I suppose? Because, I mean, I imagine someone will be going with you. Do you have a support crew or whatever?
Yeah. So most athletes and teams have like 2 support crew. My dad's been my support crew this year. And our stock agent from home, Snow Buckley. Better give him a shout out. He'll love it. But yeah, no, they'll look forward to it. I think they will probably have more fun than me.
Snow has been on the show, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's good sort.
Good fella. Yeah, that's awesome. So that's cool. So you've done the Ironman that I think was it half Ironman that you did. What was that last year? Did you say?
Yeah, down in Wanaka.
Oh yeah, right. You did that one. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's where I am. Yeah. That's always a big event, eh?
Yeah, no, really cool. Did it with a good group of friends.
Stops the town, that pretty much.
Yeah, cool location as well. You can't beat Wanaka, to be fair.
It's bloody nice, that's for sure. Did you go right in that?
Yeah, no, it was good. Like, finished it, which is the main thing. Getting out there and having a go is really what I'm about. I'm definitely not going to win any medals or anything, so yeah.
Nothing wrong with that, dude. I can tell you that's just actually completing these things is kind of amazing, actually. Have you done an ultra marathon as well?
Yes, me and my mum actually went over to Aussie last year and did a 55K marathon around the Blue Mountains.
Oh, wow. What was that like? The Blue Mountains would be amazing, was it?
Yeah, pretty stunning. Like, it was stinking hot, so sweated my rig out, but it was awesome to be a part of.
Oh, that's really cool. That's awesome. Well, that sounds like it's going really well. Now, in terms of the dairy farming side of things, you are doing or have done a grassroots dairy management program. What's that about?
Yeah, so it's for like recent grads out of university, and it's kind of getting people to go into dairy management roles the same way you go into a traditional like banking graduate program from uni.
Oh, yeah.
So you get placed on a dairy farm around mid-Canterbury, and then we also do like modules each week for like pasture management, succession, finance, like growing your capital and equity in the farm and all that kind of stuff.
No, and what are your future kind of farming goals?
So my parents are dairy farmers in Waimedi under the Hunter Hills. So I'd love to go home and take over the family farm one day.
Have you got any siblings that would be, hey, hang on, I'm running this place?
No, I've got two brothers, but I think they'd probably milk a bull, if I'm being honest. Don't think they've ever cut the cow.
Okay, so you've got that all set, ready to go. I love it. Yeah, knock them out of the way. They probably don't run. They probably don't do ultra marathons and coast to coast either, do they?
Oh, to be fair, they're pretty athletic in their own right, so I can't really take that from them.
You guys are obviously, a family of, sporting enthusiasts and this sort of thing, which is, so it's a natural thing for you to kind of do this sort of stuff, yeah?
Yeah, I wouldn't say any of us are natural athletes. We're probably a bit uncoordinated, but we're all happy to go out and give it a go.
I love your honesty. I really do. It's brilliant. And all the best for the Coast to Coast. As you say, it's a hell of an event on the New Zealand calendar. It gets people from all over the show coming together. So good luck for it, mate. We'll be keeping an eye out for you. And all the best. Thank you for giving us some time on the show. Appreciate you.
No, wicked. Thank you.
That's us for another edition of the program. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more episodes coming up, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.